It gladdens me to know that Baldur's father makes ready the benches for a banquet. Soon we shall be drinking ale from the curved horns. The champion who comes into Odin's dwelling does not lament his death. I shall not enter his hall with words of fear upon my lips. The Aesir will welcome me. Death comes without lamenting. Eager am I to depart. The Disir summon me home. The Valkyries call from the hall of the Lord of Hosts. Gladly shall I drink ale in the high seat with the Aesir. The days of my life are ending. I laugh as I die. Hey there, internet guys. It's Nate here again. And well, of the videos I have up, only 2 of them are even remotely political. And since one of my earliest subscribers, since I actually started using the channel, was YouTube's one and only Sardonic Skeptic, aka second sexiest man on the internet, first of course being myself, I feel like I've been a little remiss. So I'm gonna start recording more political videos. Probably gonna do a series just describing what I believe. And first off, this one I'm doing right now is about religion. And I thought that this video could use a badass backdrop, so for those of you wondering what the hell that god-awful noise is, I'm currently sitting on top of a big rock in the middle of Mint Springs, which is in the Vicksburg National Military Park. And for the benefit of y'all ignorant motherfuckers, the Vicksburg campaign was one of the most important in the entire American Civil War, and it was right around here where I'm sitting that the fate of the Confederacy was pretty well sealed. And I'm gonna give y'all the grand tour. Hardly anybody ever comes down here, so we ought to have plenty of privacy. I could totally jerk off here. So anyway, the religion that I practice is called Fearnsidu, which is Old English for the old ways. It's an ancestral folkway based largely on what little we know about the pre-Christian beliefs of the Anglo-Saxons. I sacrifice to idols. A bunch of myths and oral traditions and folk practices speak to me way more profoundly than the ass-backwards desert religion of an ass-backwards desert culture ever could. So what the fuck is an ancestral folkway supposed to mean? Well, heathenry, that's what the various denominations, I guess you'd say, of Germanic paganism are called, is a lot more than just a religion. Being heathen isn't a Christmas and Easter thing. It's a worldview and a way of life, and adherents hold themselves to a code of behavior that emphasizes honor, fidelity, community, and other virtues outlined in the lore. The lore refers to a big-ass body of literature that includes the Poetic Edda, the Icelandic sagas, and Tacitus's Germania, amongst a hell of a lot of others, which we have to have at least a passing familiarity with in order to reconstruct the faith. The goddamn Christards were nothing if not thorough in their forced conversion of Europe, so Reconstructionism requires that all branches of heathenry, Fearnsidu, Asatru, Northern Tradition, the Odinic Rite, whatever, be pan-Germanic. You gotta do what you can with what you got. Hence, why a guy who practices a 5th century religion is wearing a 10th century Thor's hammer. And all the different forms of heathenry like Asatru, Fornsith, Fernsidhu, etc. are of one family because we're all of one culture and we honor the same gods, but I picked Fernsidhu because it's the closest thing we've got to what my blood ancestors would have practiced. My bloodline is continental German, not Anglo-Saxon, but like I said, the Christards were nothing if not thorough, so you gotta do what you can with what you got. Heathenry is not at all dogmatic. It's a living faith, and the gods exist in our blood and our bones, not in a bunch of dusty old books. We don't take kindly to being called New Age or Neo-Pagan, because we're all about reconstructing a faith and worldview that existed over 1,000 years ago. And our gods are attested to in Roman sources all the way back to the 1st century. If anything, we're paleo-pagans. Also, most heathens are hard polytheists. That is, we believe that our gods are individual beings, not just incarnations of one pantheistic god or goddess. And most heathens are pretty conservative politically. I was raised as a Christian, but it never really took. I think that the various cults of sand worship, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, are the religions of old women and slaves and don't have any place in a culture of free men. Apologist hippies like to make believe that people who do bad things in the name of religion are just using religion to justify their actions. But the truth is that sand worship sets a very good groundwork for absolutism. It's all about masters and slaves. Even Jesus, who was by all accounts a pretty cool dude, talked about turning the other cheek and paying your taxes. Yeah. Shit, my cigar went out. Fuck you, I'm not editing that. I guess I have to say a few words about the Nazis. White supremacism is completely antithetical to heathenry. Calling those faggots at Volksfront a heathen organization because they hold Sumbul is exactly the same as saying that Christians worship Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. If you don't believe me, picture Radnor Lodbrok being forced to wear a uniform and goose step, or a woman like Sigrid the Proud being told that her only purpose is to make babies for the state. And that's all I got. If you're interested in learning more about heathenry, start with the lore. I recommend Egil's Saga is a good place to start, since it's my personal favorite out of all the sagas, and, well, Egil Skallagrimsson was the greatest poet of the whole Viking Age, which was an age of some pretty badass poetry. If you've got questions, leave a comment or make a video response or something, and I'll be glad to answer. So, what? Westuhal, and hail the gods, motherfuckers.